we are going to win this match.
Oh, come on, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
man.
Liverpool hasn't lost a league match this season.
My punishment is going to be very simple. I just want you to look at the fans and tell them I love Manchester United. Manchester United is all I got. Manchester United forever. These 3 sentences.
Well, Steven, are you going to say it or not?
That's all.
I love Chelsea.
Hello guys, welcome to KEZZY'S Tv Tv and welcome to our weekly talk shows on football. And with me here today is Steven, who is also a Chelsea fan, like me, and we have our special guest of honor, Levi, who is a Red Devils fan, as you all know, as Manchester United. And today we're going to be talking about Chelsea's performance during the last Premier League fixtures, and during the international week, as well as some other important topics on the game of football. So talking about the international week, we had a lot of Chelsea players, youngsters feature in the international week. The likes of Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, Pulisic, Batshuayi, Mason Mount, and Tomori. What do you think about their performance, Steven, during the international week?
Oh well, I saw the highlights of Bulgaria-England game where England won 6-0. So I mean, especially Rose Barkley, he scored 2 goals, which was like very 2 brilliant goals, which I loved so much. Not just the goals, his overall performance in the game was exceptional and spectacular. And Mason Mount also, he came into the fray, I think, towards the end of the match. So he gave a good show of himself. So that shows how the guy has transited from the academy to the
Talking about the international week, Levi, what do you think about the racist chants by the Bulgaria fans during the international week?
I think it's a very disappointing and something that doesn't happen constantly in football. And from what I know, I think it has penalties, and I had 6 fans were arrested also and all that. But for me, I think there should be a greater punishment for this kind of thing. Like maybe the football club should be disqualified, from the competition, because the punishments that are here now, they've been there, and still this kind of things repeat itself. So I think there should be a stronger punishment and consequences to this, so that we won't be having this constant.
That is a very good idea. So to our fans out there, I would advise us, and I would like to say that we are no fans of racism, and please say no to racism. Football is a game of love, brings people together, so please let's all stay away from racism during a football match. So moving on, looking at the Chelsea players again that featured in the international week, Kante didn't feature much because I could recall the coach saying he had some minor groin injuries or so. So do you think we're going to miss Kante in the next future against Newcastle United?
I think according to what the media is saying, it's like he's not going to feature for the next match against Newcastle. So hopefully we should be able to carry on without him for the time being. I don't think it's a serious injury. I think it's just a minor injury.
Yeah, talking about players on injury also, looking at our squad, if you take a look at the international week, I think it might have had some very disastrous effects on the squad of Chelsea. Looking at Emerson still on injury, and we still have Christensen, we have Kovacic, and Kovacic went also on injury during the international break. You mentioned Loftus-Cheek. Talking about Loftus-Cheek, he's been away for a while now, and recently on the Chelsea app, I watched the video of him talking about his road to recovery and everything. What do you expect from him as a player? Do you expect him to fit right back into the squad?
See, he's a big player, and it's very difficult to see guys as big as him doing what he does with the ball. Like, he's very good on the ball in the central midfield. So I think is a big piece that we are missing in the center of the park. So we'll be lucky to have him back anytime soon. I don't know if he'll fit in right away, but I think with time it will go. Subsequently.
Okay, moving on, we're gonna go into last week's performance of against Southampton. I think that was a very good, a great match to watch. The thrashing against Southampton, 4 goals to 1, and look at the performance of Abraham, Mason Mount, even Police and Batroy. I think they are having this kind of coordination. What do you think as a Red Devils fan? So what do you feel whenever you're watching Chelsea play against other teams?
Chelsea match, concentrating on this season, I didn't expect Chelsea to be this successful so far, especially after the first Premier League match against Manchester United. So I just feel like maybe that first match was for them to wake up, and do more in their performance. And the last match against Southampton, it was a very, very good performance from Chelsea, but I think they're lacking behind in their defense. Because if you watch that goal that was scored by Inks, that one goal from Southampton, you will see how the defense were lagging. Zuma at the centre back, he couldn't get to the ball before he got to the net. So I think Chelsea has some work to do in their defense.
Definitely. We do have some work to do in our defense. So also, I'm going to reflect back to the beginning of the season when we got a 4-0 thrashing from Manchester United fans. I think that was one of the most bad times I've had this season as a Chelsea fan. But after that, Manchester United has they seem to have found a way down the table. What do you think, Levi?
I think this season is a very, very bad season for us so far, obviously. And with the injuries and everything, and Marcus Rashford, who is supposed to be our key player, is not in a very good form. And Martial injury, Pogba's injury, and all that. So I think actually Manchester United team, they relaxed way too much, especially after the first win against Chelsea. So they felt too comfortable and we played badly in the remaining matches.
Okay, yeah. I don't know. For me, I don't see Manchester United in the top 4 at the end of the season. This season, what do you think?
So for me, apart from the 4-0 thrashing in the hands of Manchester United, so you need to look back to last season. They weren't that great even last season. So I think what Chelsea did to them was to give them a false hope. And and we can
That's a good way to say it.
So you can see what's going on now and see what has happened. Steadily with Chelsea, bringing everything up. When everybody already had a doubt on Frank Lampard, like what can he do? They started comparing with Solskjaer, like he was also a Man U player, that was brought in to resuscitate the team, but still they're in a quagmire.
Yeah, talking about the effects of you have some.
I don't think if Chelsea hadn't lost 4-0 to Man United, that they will play this good this season.
Oh, what a way to say it.
Because circumstances behind your activity can affect your performance. The circumstances, the transfer ban and everything, and then the first match they lost 4-0. So I think that contributed to Chelsea buckling up and playing better in the remaining matches. So Chelsea and Man U actually, from last season, they are not in a better place as the top teams of Premier League. They haven't been playing very well.
No. We won the AFL Cup.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the general performance actually. So I wouldn't say Chelsea is better than Man U. We don't want to go to that. So, but I think Man U needs some, waking up to do, and Chelsea also need to continue be consistent with their performance.
Okay, yeah. Talking about the performance of Chelsea and the things that led to the way we play now, but I would like to contribute the performance of Chelsea greatly to Lampard. He from the beginning of the season he started with the 4-3-3 formation. Not every coach would switch immediately into a new formation after losing with the 4-3-3 formation. Looking at the first match, we lost with 4-3-3 formation, and then in the previous coming matches he changed his formation into a 4-2-3-1, I guess, and that has been working so fine for us. So I would contribute the performance of Chelsea and to Lampard. What do you think? Do you think that his given or proven fact that he wants to give the youngsters a chance in Chelsea, do you think is also a plus to the development in Chelsea's squad?
Well, I think you mentioned something which is the change in tactics. Even if you watch, is it Norwich? So in the first half, he used the formation, but second half he switched it up, where he made some changes behind. And when he's playing 3-5-3, he uses Alonso. When he's playing 4-3-3, he uses Emerson until he got injured. So that's a dynamic that we didn't have last season. It's just 4-3-3, 4-3-3, winning or losing, bantering, but this time around, he changes the formation to suit whatever opponent we are playing on, which is a fantastic thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a risk, but it's been a good risk so far.
Yeah, owing to that as well. Last season we had Sarri, and now we have Lampard. At the end of the season, when Sarri said he was leaving Chelsea, I was honestly afraid that Chelsea wasn't gonna even be up to the first half of the table this season. But Lampard has, proven quite a good deal. That's a good business.
So for Lampard's situation, I would say it's just like a blessing in disguise. Thank God for the transfer ban, because if not for the transfer ban, we will not be even sitting here talking about Lampard. Chelsea would have gone for a bigger coach. So, but because there was no bigger coach to come around and saddle a team that's not getting any influx of players.
Also, now we lost our best player.
We lost Hazard, exactly. Eden Hazard went to Real Madrid. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise that the transfer ban was there, so we were able to bring in chunk of youth players from the academy and record some people from loan, and see, they are doing great.
Yeah. Also, I have one question for you, Devi. Looking at Manchester United squad, comparing the number of young stars in the squad, I think Manchester started before Chelsea with giving the young stars a chance. Chelsea was always a club that was known for throwing their young players on loan. And I think I could recall at the time we had a loan army of 43 players, you can imagine. But given the difference, looking at Manchester United and looking at Chelsea, they started to implement the use of young stars in their squad as early as last season. The likes of Mason Wood, McTominay, and all. And they really proved a lot. To the way which other clubs have started using their young players. Levi, what do you think the difference between the young players in Manchester United and as well young players in Chelsea?
Going back again to what I said before, the conditions, the circumstances surrounding the season and the performances. So I would say, these Chelsea youngsters who are playing very well now, they think that this is actually their opportunity to make something out of their career, because of the circumstances surrounding Chelsea this season. So Chelsea have to depend on them, and they have to show that they are worth it. But in Manchester United, we have our players, we have our old players, we have our youngsters. So it's more like they are optional. So, and quite still they play very well, but the Chelsea youngsters are actually playing better this season because of the circumstances, and they are actually good apart from that.
So okay, I think just to chip in something, I think what Manchester United is lacking is leadership. Nobody is leading the people in the team. So like there's no leader, there's nobody to look up to. Like when this guy was there, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So it's like the big guy there cheering them up. Who can do
But
it.
if you look at the Chelsea squad as well, I think we lack a number of leaders in our squad. Our captain Aspilicueta is not like an outspoken kind of a leader. He's not very much outspoken. I think Jorginho would do a better work as a captain. Also, given that he's been given the vice captain of Chelsea squad, I think he would also do a better work than than Aspilicueta in the group.
So I think for Chelsea, you'd look at the fundamentals in terms of having Lampard. Lampard has played with Williams, he has played with Azpilicueta, he has played with Alonso, all of them. So they know each other. So he was a leader even before he left the club to start the coaching career. So we can say we have him in the form of a coach and as a leader. at the same time. So that's what I was saying.
That's beautiful. Let's take a look at the last weekend's performance by Abraham. We'll start by taking a look at his goal against the Southampton. That was an amazing goal. If you take a look at the goal on the screen, could you see that pass from Hudson-Odoi? That was like a beautiful pass, and the way his first touch and the way he carried out the goal was amazing. You understand? What do you guys think about that? Like, given the Hudson-Odoi is also getting back into the squad, what do you feel?
I think, for me personally, I think Hudson-Odoi is a superstar because I've been watching from when Chelsea started playing him, and under Sarri, he wasn't giving that much importance. He wasn't giving preference, and I think he deserves it. So now I'm happy to see him on the squad, and he should be there actually. And for Abraham, he's been good this season. 8 goals now in the Premier League. He's a good finisher, and the most important thing is to be consistent as a striker. So that's that.
And looking at Kante's goal as well. Okay, that was the goal against Chelsea. So look at Mason Mount's goal. Oh, sorry, Kante's goal.
Yeah, that was a little bit of deflection.
But I think with Kante in the squad, being able to push forward, and attack, being able and willing to attack the opponents, he gives us a very, very great addition of strength and
so the thing is,
experience.
Kante gives a lot of options when he's in the center of the park. He's a good player going forward. Then defensively also is fantastic. So I know we'll fail him, but I think for the next match we should be fine.
Okay. So because of lack of time, we'll move on to the next agenda. We're talking about Mason Mount specifically now. Looking at he's been going on loans, played in the Champions League with Lampard, and now also he's performing very well in the Premier League. Also nominated for the Best Young Player Award in the Premier League this season. And what do you think? Lampard has been with him throughout his time in Derby, also transitioning into Chelsea. Do you think this performance in Chelsea would be, also accredited to Lampard?
In some way, it goes both ways. The player's readiness to work hard and to perform, and the tutelage of Lampard also, you can see the impact, because it was just like it was an automatic transition into the first team when he came in. And look at what happened again in the international break. He was called up for the England team, so that shows you how much effort and how good Mason Mount is.
That's okay. That is a good way to see it as well. Right now I'm gonna ask one of you a question. It doesn't relate to what the topic is right now, but I think one of our fans would be interested to know a little bit more about our guest host. So I don't know. The question would I'll go with Levi for a start. What is the craziest thing you've done as an anti-Chelsea fan?
As an anti-Chelsea fan, to be sincere, I with passion I hate Chelsea. So with passion, like Chelsea is like the top club that I hate. So actually I've not had an opportunity or a good chance, to do something against Chelsea or a Chelsea fan. But the ones that are close to me, I do deal with them. But the one thing I can remember is there was an important Chelsea match, and there was a very serious Chelsea fan in my home who wanted to watch the match.
Well, if I think our fans will also be interested to know who the serious Chelsea fan is.
Actually, the serious Chelsea fan is here with you.
Okay, it's too good.
So it was a very important Chelsea match that they were going to show, but I insisted on playing my game on the TV. So he had to watch it on his phone.
Oh, that is bad, man.
I was very impressed. I was happy.
That is bad. Okay. Moving on to the next week's match against Newcastle. What do you guys think about that? What do you think? Do you think Chelsea's gonna win the match?
With Chelsea's form now, although they are going to be affected by Kante's injury and all that. But Rudiger is back.
I don't think he's going to feature as well.
Oh, he's not going to feature. Well, you only have to worry about Chelsea's defense because if Rudiger was back, then the center defense was going to be alright. But now Rudiger is not there, Kante is not there for the defensive midfield. So the attack will be good, but the defense. And I think Chelsea is going to win the match. Actually.
Yeah. Okay. Stephen, what do you think? What players would you like to see that has not featured enough so far in the Premier League? Would you like to see the likes of Pulisic and Batshuayi feature?
I'm not the coach, right? So, but then, with the way things have been playing out, I would still like to see the same members that have been playing the previous games. Okay, so maybe he could introduce Pulisic, more early than the previous game. So, and see the dynamics that we have. So if by chance he can start also, that will be fine. So I believe it's good. He just needs to grow more confidence.
Yeah, also given owing to the fact that he's traveled a lot through leagues like German Bundesliga and everything. I think he needs more time in the Chelsea squad. Like he needs to grow his fitness and get adaptive to the Premier League kind of style. It's kind of very physical sometimes. Also looking at the likes of Giroud, who has. Even the French coach also complained about him not getting game time in the Chelsea squad. What do you think?
So you can't have a scoring striker and be thinking about another striker who's actually old. So not that it's not brilliant. Look at what he's doing with French team. He scored 2 goals in 2 games, which he has never featured for Chelsea in like how many games. So I think his chance also will come. His chances will come.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Levi, what is your predicted lineup of what do you think would be the lineup for Chelsea against Newcastle?
Emerson is back, right? So yeah, I would say, because Emerson has been good. Alonso is good also, but I think Emerson has had 1 goal this season and assist also. So his attack is different. He has shot on target, So I think he's a better left back. Yeah. So Emerson, Zuma is there in the center, and then Aspilicueta is there at the right back, and who is there at the center again. And then the midfield, Kante is not there, so maybe Pulisic and Jorginho. And then Mason Mount, and then the left, Hudson, and right William, and then Abraham. So I think this is how it's going.
For me, I would go for Kepa, Emerson. Even though I think Emerson is not going to feature, but I think he'll start with Alonso, and then later in the match, Emerson is going to come up, and I think Zuma and Tomori, and then Aspilicueta at the right back. And then we have, I prefer to see Jorginho and Barkley work together in the center of the pitch, you understand? And I prefer to see Jorginho, Barkley, and then Mount ahead of them. And we have Williams, Hudson-Odoi, and Abraham. For me, if I was the coach, I would go with Batshuayi because he's been, showing that he wants to play. He's been scoring internationally. He came on the last game and then had a beautiful assist, 1-2 assist with Pulisic. And I think the squad now is buzzing. You just can't. There are a lot of players to look into, but I think they will all get their time as time goes by.
Concerning Batshuayi, for me, I think he's like better off, as a substitute, because Abraham should be given more time in the team. Actually, considering he's a young player and he has been doing well, and Batshuayi has more of experience, I think. So when the team is needy, or when you are lacking goals, or when you need a goal, you can switch Abraham with Batshuayi.
That's it. Okay, and that's it for our next week's predictions and lineup. So going also into the next fixtures, next weekend's fixtures. Oh, we're looking at the Super Sunday match coming up against with Manchester United against Liverpool. And we're so excited to see what's going to happen.
Yes.
As we have a Manchester United fan here who is also excited with us, I guess, to see what will happen in the match coming up in the weekend with Liverpool. What do you think? What are your chances against Liverpool?
Of course, you want to know what I think. You know, this match is actually a very important match considering our poor performance this season and perfect performance of Liverpool this season. So it's going to be more like, is it going to turn around? Is it Man U? Are we going to stop Liverpool? Is something going to change, or is it going to be the usual? So, but I'm highly expectant. So I think I think we are going to win this match.
Oh, come on, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
because-
Liverpool hasn't lost a league match this season.
you know, since after Salah and Mane had their issues and all those, since then Liverpool has been winning with 1 goal. 2 goals.
So you
They've not been scoring more.
pray that
So
that problem still remains
There's
in the
like
squad.
there's like misunderstanding in their attacking, and you know Salah and Mane and Firmino, they are like Liverpool's all and all. So I think if we can make use of that, although we are going to miss Pogba in this squad, so if we can make use of that, and Marshall is there, Rashford is there, so I think we are going to have goals. And the only way we are losing is if Liverpool score more, but I think we will have goals.
Okay, what do you think the chances are?
I love his optimism. Yeah, I love his hope, and you know, hope is not a strategy.
Well, that's
So the thing is, I don't see Man U winning this game.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
I don't see them winning this game, and if they are lucky, they'll get a draw. If they are lucky.
Okay, to our fans out there, we'll be live with you watching the game Manchester United versus Liverpool. The three of us together, hopefully, so that we can, see what the chances are ourselves. And that is it for our weekly talk show on your favorite game of football. Now we have one more game for the guest host to play, and we have one last question for you, Stephen. You have not answered the question, right? So the question goes like this. Are you ready for it? Okay. You're a Chelsea fan, right? So the question goes like, the question goes like, name the squad for the UEFA Champions League match against Bayern Munich in 2012, the one which we carried champions. And wait before you do that, if you don't name the squad, Levi has got the opportunity to punish you. So you have to do whatever he asks you to do
I can't wait.
in front of the camera, for our
Okay.
fans to see.
Didier Drogba,
Okay.
Fernando Torres, Juan Mata,
Okay.
Ramirez, David Luiz, Eden Hazard. Keeper was Peter Cech. Defender, we had John Terry. We had Ashley Cole. Yeah, Ashley Cole. What, Ashley? Cesar Azpilicueta. Sorry, not Ashley.
Okay. That is a no. That is not the squad for 2012.
That won the Champions League.
That was not the squad for the 2012
Wait,
Champions League. Yeah.
Drogba was there.
Yeah, Drogba was there.
Fernando Torres was there.
Nope.
For the final match,
Mm-hmm.
he was not there.
Nope.
Okay, yeah, John Terry was not there because he had a red card. That's true. John Terry was not there. We had this guy. He's now playing for Southampton. Left back.
Are you talking about Bertrand?
Yeah, Ryan Bertrand.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was. Ryan Bertrand was there, and Ivanovic was there.
Okay.
'Cause I remember him cutting the net after the match.
Okay.
then yeah, I mentioned Peter Cech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then I think who else was there?
We had
The
Solomon
midfield.
Kabu
Florence Maluda.
and Maluda.
Yeah. Hey, it's 2012, man. It's been a while.
Okay, so he.
I got some of
that.
I got most.
You did not get. You did not
Hey,
get.
you say it. You
You
say
had
it.
some help from him.
You did not get most of the squad, so we're gonna give the opportunity to Levi for him to punish you in front of our Chelsea fans for not being able to name the UEFA Champions
I've
League
waited
squad.
a very long time for
Okay, so the Levi, the stage is yours.
Yeah. My punishment is going to be very simple. I just want you to look at the fans and tell them I love Manchester United. Manchester United is all I got. Manchester United forever. These 3 sentences.
Well, Stephen, are you gonna say it or not?
That's all.
I love Chelsea. Blues for life.
Okay, then that's it for our weekly show on your favorite game of football. Please don't forget to click the like and subscribe button and catch us on all social media platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if you want to message us on WhatsApp and you have any suggestions on how we can improve our shows, please feel free to contact us on any of the social media platforms. See you soon next week and stay tuned.